Well, Leagues 5 Raging Echoes is finally being released tomorrow, and we now know everything about the league. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks and how you can kind of get yourself ready for the league. We're going to be going through all of the regions and their benefits, as well as the relics and the combat masteries, and I'm going to be personally telling you guys what I'm going to be picking. But the most important thing is to have fun. It is a temporary game mode. So you're going to be starting with Miscelin and Karmja already unlocked, and then you've got the options to choose from as Garia, the Desert, Femic, Candin, Morania, Tarwin, the Wilderness, Karand, and this time Vlore. So we're going to start it off with the Miscelin region, and you get a lot of nice areas here, some big ones including Fossil Island, Edgeville, the Dig Site, Varrock, Xanaris, and the list of course goes on. Some notable combat activities here are the Abyssal Sire, Fossil Island Wyverns. You've got access to the Edgeville Dungeon, the Stronghold of Security, Tormented Demons, and Scurrius the Rat King. And some non-combat activities you can do here is the Champions Guild. You got the Draenor Village rooftop agility course, hunting herbivores, birdhouse runs, hardwood trees. You've got Volcanic Mine, Puro, and the ability to make cosmic, earth, and water runes. Also the Varrock rooftop agility course and Mahogany Homes. So the Mahogany Homes intro is auto completed, and you obviously unlock a bunch of quests. Next up, we're going to be talking about Karmja, another area everyone automatically unlocks. And some of the combat activities here, we've got the Brimhaven dungeon, which is huge, the fight caves, the fight pits. We've obviously got Jad, the Inferno, and Tazar creatures here. Some of the non-combat activities, we've got Brimhaven agility course, Calcot tree farming, fruit tree patches, fishing Karmja, nature rune crafting, which is huge, teak and mahogany woodcutting, and for anyone who's choosing the thieving relic, there is Tazar pickpocketing and gem stalls here as well. And also in Shiloh Village, there is a bunch of gems you can mine. And obviously it will unlock some of the quests as well. So for anyone going as Garia this time around, there is a good amount of stuff here. Obviously, we've got things like the Asgarnia Ice Dungeon, the Whisperer, Cerberus, the Giant Mole, the God Wars Dungeon, including Nex, the Taverley Dungeon, huge for Slayer, Warriors Guild, amazing for getting your defenders, Pest Control for Void, and the Echo Boss in this region is Cerberus. Some of the non-combat activities in this region would be the Crafting Guild, awesome for banking, the Falador Rooftop Agility Course, there's a Tree Patch, a Lawman Patch, we've got the Heroes Guild, the Mother Lode Mine, House Portal in Remington, the Rogue's Den, the ability to make air, body, law, and mind runes with the altars here. And in Taverley, there's a House Portal and a Tree Patch. And the Troll Stronghold has a Herb Patch. And here are some of the quests that you will automatically unlock. So we've got the Desert, something that I actually picked during the last league. Huge landmass here. So some of the combat activities are Bandits, the Calphite Queen, the Smoke Dungeon. We've got our first raid coming up with the Tombs of Amasket, the Leviathan, Temporis, and the Echo Boss in this region is the Calphite Queen. Some of the non-combat activities in the desert are absolutely huge, especially for points. We've got Agility Pyramid, the Mage Training Arena, Giant's Foundry, the Guardians of the Rift, we've got blackjacking here, we've got house portals, the rooftop agility course in Polnavich, we've got pyramid plunder, fire rune crafting, we've got the sandstorm machine, so you can get a lot of buckets and stuff like that with the desert and the mining. And also another huge one here is the Sorcerer's Garden and the Herblore services. We've got that in the desert too, which is something I always tend to forget about. We'll speed Herblore up quite a bit, and this will unlock a decent amount of quests. So we've got the Femic Province, which is something I think I'm going to be picking this league. We've got a lot of combat activities here. We've got Basilisk Knights, Duke, the Phantom Muzpa, Dagonoth Kings. We've got a whole Relica Slayer Cave, the Waterbirth Island Dungeon, Vorkath, and it will say that note that this that the Femic Province alone will not provide anti-venoms for anyone wanting to pick here, to keep that in mind. And the Echo boss for this region is the Dagonoth Kings. Some of the non-combat activities here got access to things like the Blast Furnace, Kingdom Management, the Penguin Agility Course, a Relica House Portal, and the Relica Rooftop Agility Course, Astral Rune Crafting, and there is a herb patch in Weiss, which I always forget about. And here are some of the quests that you will unlock with this region. Good amount. We've got Candin, which has been getting a lot of hate so far this league. Let's see what it has to offer. So some of the combat activities in Candin, we've got the Ancient Cavern, 8-Bit Monkeys, Barbarian Assault, Castle Wars, a couple good mini games there, Demonic Gorillas, which is huge for your Zenites, the Kraken, the Stronghold Slayer Cave, Smoke Devils, the Thermonuclear Smoke Devil, the Waterfall Dungeon, and the Poison Waste Dungeon. And then the Echo boss for this region is the Smoke Devil himself. Some of the non-combat activities here are the Arty Thieving, which has so much there. The Arty Rooftop Agility Course, which is the best agility course in the game. We've got Barbarian Fishing, the Barbarian Outpost Agility, Catherby Fishing, Chompy Bird Hunting, lots of hunter training up in Veldup Hills, the Fishing Trawler mini game. We've got Gnome Stronghold Agility Course for those low levels, but I think you actually only need one agility to do Draenor now. Fishing Guild, Myths Guild, if you have access to Fremenic. We've got Wrath Rune Crafting, which can be very big. Sears Village Rooftop Course as well. Access to Spirit Trees can be good for travel. Got access to the Tower of Life for secondary ingredients, and there's also another house portal in Yanel. And here are the quests that will get automatically completed. Another huge list. Alright, finally we've got Mauritania, which this is a region a lot of people are gonna be picking. There's just so much good content here. So some of the combat activities are Barrows, which is just massive, very good for getting armor. Cave Horrors for the Slayer Mask. We've got Experiments, Grotesque Guardians, the Haunted Mine, the Spider Cave, which you can actually kill a Raxor here. We've got the Nightmare Boss, the Lair of Tarn, Shades of Morton, the Slayer Tower, the Theater of Blood, Firewatch Sentinels, and the Echo boss for this region is the Grotesque Guardian. So a lot of people like combat, and this is probably one of the best regions for combat and also for Slayer. So very, very good and powerful region if you are into PvM. And some of the non-combat activities that this region has to offer is Canifis Rooftop Agility. We've got the Dayalt Essence Mining, which is awesome for rune crafting. Ectofunctus Prayer Training, very good for the start of the game anyways. Hallowed Sepulchre, again, very, very good for agility. A lot of people forget about this one too. There is the Harmony Island Herb Patch, and then there's also the Port Phasmatis patches. Temple Trekking, you got the True Blood Altar, and you can actually just buy a blood talisman from the Canifis General Store. Vire Lord Pickpocketing, which will be one of the best ways to get thieving up as well. And there's also the Werewolf Agility course. And a bunch of quests, again, will be unlocked. So we've got Tarwin, which is something I think I'm going to be going for as well in this region. Did it last time, and it's just too good to pass up. So some of the combat activities here is the little rabbit that is very annoying to kill. You've got the Ironworth Dungeon, the Gauntlet, and Zalra. And the Echo boss is the Corrupted Hunlif in the Corrupted Gauntlet, of course. Now some of the non-combat activities in this region is the Crystal Chest, the Elven version. You've got the Death Altar, Ellinia Fruit Tree Patch, Prifddinas allotment patches. You've got the Prifddinas Agility course. You got Crystal Implings. There is a Prifddinas hunting ground as well for those who want to catch the Reg and Champas. A house portal. You got teak and mahogany trees. Sacred Eel Fishing, and Zolcano is another really big one that I always forget about. And obviously a good amount of quests too, especially some of these really annoying ones like the Morning's End series. Alright, so we've got the Wilderness, another really good one for people that are into PVM. So we've got the combat activities, obviously all of the bosses in the Wilderness, including like Callisto, the Chaos Elemental, the Chaos Fanatic, the Corporal Beast, the Crazy Archaeologist, Revenant Caves, the King Black Dragon, the Lava Dragons. Major Arena 1 and 2 is a big one if you're going magic. Scorpia, Venenonis, Vedion. We've got the Wilderness God Wars Dungeon, which is another one that I always forget about, and the Wilderness Slayer Cave. And the Echo boss in this region is the King Black Dragon. And yeah, so a lot of non-combat activities as well. You've got Abyss Rune Crafting. So keep in mind though that the altar access is restricted to their areas. You've got Black Chinchompa hunting, which can be some of the best hunting experience in the game. There's also Black Salamanders, fishing dark crabs. You've got the Fountain of Rune here, the Chaos Altar, massive for prayer, the Wilderness Agility course, and you make a lot of money here. And you also have the Wilderness Resource Area in the Rogue's Chest. So the Wilderness is a huge pick. There's so much content in it. And you will get a couple of quests. Okay, so we've got the Cabos Karand, which is a region I'm personally going to be picking 100%. There's just such a big landmass, so much to do, so many points to be gained. So we've got the combat activities being the Chambers of Zarek raid, the Alchemical Hydra, Lizardman Shamans, Mount Karem Slayer Dungeon, Sarachnis. You got the Catacombs of Karand, which is one of the best places to train Slayer. We've got the Giant's Den in Hespori. Now, the Echo boss for this region is Hespori, which is very, very different. We're going to be going over all the Echo bosses after this. But yeah, so some of the non-combat activities here. Farming Guild, massive. Woodcutting Guild, pretty big too. The Archaeus Library is very good for low-level training. We've got the Hosidius farming patches and the Tithe farm, so lots of farming in this region. We've got access to things like aerial fishing, which could be very good for hunting training as well. And of course you got the Winter Todd, so fire making is free if you pick this region, and you have access to the Soul Altar and Blood Altar, and of course the Blast Mine. Okay, and also Konar will assign Slayer tasks based on the areas that you've unlocked. So very, very nice. So you won't have to keep canceling tasks and whatever. And a little bit of a smaller quest unlock list with this region. And last but definitely not least is Varlamore, the brand new area, the first time it will ever be in a league. And there is a good amount of content here. So some of the combat activities would be the Perilous Moons, which is very nice. Get a lot of good armor that way. The Fortis Coliseum. So if you've never done the Fortis Coliseum and you want to try it, this league may be the time to do so. We've got access to the new Ice Boss, also the Huey Codal, Vardoris. And the Echo boss for this region is the guy from the Coliseum, of course. Might be one of the harder Echo bosses to defeat, but definitely good if you want to learn the Coliseum. And there also is a good amount of non-combat activities here. We've got things like house robbery, calcified mining, blessed bone shards, very, very good for training prayer. The Hunter's Guild with Hunter Rumors, also mastering mixology, herblore activity. So this could be a way you get all of your herblore training done. And you've also got things like the Colossal Worm Agility course and crafting Sunfire runes, and a little bit of quests will be unlocked with this region as well. So a really cool part about this league is bosses will drop uniques, which helps out a lot. So for example, all of the raids in the game will drop the 3 mega rares from every other raid. So the Chambers of Zarek will drop, say, the Twisted Bow, the Atumician Shadow, and the Scythe of Vitter. Also, there's things like Zalra will drop the Trident of the Swamp, and you won't need the regular trident to upgrade it. It will just drop the trident right off the bat. So it really, you want to take a look at this list and the regions that you're going to be picking. You might not have to unlock another region to kind of make that weapon or get it, so it is very nice. So going over the bosses really quickly, for Asgarnia, we've got Cerberus, and it will give you the dog sword, has crazy special attacks, which will use all of the god sword effects at once. For the desert, we've got the Kelphite Queen, and it will give you the Dragor blowpipe, and it will roll accuracy twice, taking the highest result. So for Mauritania, Grotesque Guardians, it will give you the Gloves of the Damned, and it will double the effect of the Barrows set. So imagine things like the rocks, very, very powerful. Wilderness will give you the King Black Dragon. It will give you the Thunder Sword, which it's just crazy. If you read that, it can do quite a bit of damage. And then you've also got the Thousand Dragon Ward, which basically just will prevent you from any effect like poison or venom or anything. And it's a shield with a plus 12 melee strength. So Thermi is going to be dropping the Devil's Element, and element attacks that exploit an NPC's weakness will treat the weakness as twice the amount, and it will also provide unlimited elemental runes. So Fremennik, we've got the Dagonoth Kings, and it will drop the Amulet and the Emperor's Ring, and look at the stats on these things, absolutely freaking crazy. And if you combine these two together, you will just be destroying in any one of the range melee magic. It's just freaking crazy. And then we've got the Tarwin, we have the Hunlif, and this will give you the Crystal Blessing, and the Crystal Armor bonuses for all accuracy and damage apply to all melee weapons whilst equipped, which can be actually very, very powerful. It's usually only for range, but this time with this Crystal Blessing, it will be for melee too. And for Karand Hespori, it will give you the little tribrid nature little thing, and basically it can use all three combat styles similar to salamanders, and it will be charged with nature and earth runes. Pretty interesting little weapon here. And for Varlamore, you will be getting the Sunlight Spear and also the Sunlight Braziers, so it's pretty cool. Definitely I would do Varlamore if you want to learn, say, doing the Colosseum. Yeah. So with this league, there's combat masteries, which is very different. Basically, you are going to have to do some tasks like defeat a giant, defeat 10 monsters with a combat level of 100 plus, and you need to do this 10 times, and you can unlock 10 different combat masteries. Now, for example, you could put like all of them into one, say all range for example, and then put the other 4 in melee or the other 4 in magic, or you could do something like 3 4 3. It really depends on your play style. Very, very cool this time. I think I'm going to be going range myself. Was going to go with magic, but range just seems very powerful, and you can kind of choose how you want to play this league, and every time you complete one of these little tasks, you can unlock a new combat mastery. They've also got some passive effects for all of them, and some of them are insane. Now, as for the relics, it's completely up to your play style, what you prefer. So I'm not going to try and tell you what relics to pick, and I'm not going to explain all of them either because I've already made videos on all of them, and I don't want this video to be 5 hours long. So basically for the tier 1, you've got Power Miner, Lumberjack, or Animal Wrangler. One helps fishing and hunter actually. One helps woodcutting and fletching and woodcutting. And the other one helps mining and smithing and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to be going with the Power Miner. We will have to see, but it's either Animal Wrangler or the Power Miner. Animal Wrangler is very good for AFK fishing. But Power Miner just seems so good as well. I don't think anyone's going to be choosing the Lumberjack one. We will have to see though. Now for the tier 2, I personally am going to be going with Dodgy Deals. Just sounds so much fun for thieving. Friendly Forager would be my second pick for sure. And Corner Cutter is good if you hate agility. But personally, I'm going to be going with the Dodgy Deals. Now for the third tier, it's the Teleport Relics. You've got Bank Heist, Fairy's Flight, and the Clue Compass. Now, personally, I think the Clue Compass is the best one here because you can actually teleport right to a bank with it anyways. so I don't really know the whole point of the bank heist one. Fairy Flight is also a very, very good option, but you can still use fairy rings, and you can unlock a fairy ring in your house or something like that, depending on your regions. So personally, I think the strongest one is Clue Compass, especially if you plan on doing a good amount of clues in the league. Now for the tier 4, very hard choices here. We've got Golden God, Reloaded, and Equilibrium. So basically Equilibrium will give you XP all of the time in your skills, and 20% in your lowest skills, and I think it's 10% in the other skills. So very, very good if you're going for ranks. You want to just be the #1 all the time. It can be very, very good, and especially for some skills in your region which could be difficult as hell to train. Say Herblore, for example, you could just get like 200 mil fire making, and boom, you've got your Herblore out of the way with no problem. So that might be a way of tackling that problem. Reloaded will let you choose another relic from a previous tier. So for example, you could get Animal Wrangler and Power Miner, or say Dodgy Deals and Friendly Forager, or you could even get 2 of the Teleport relics for all I care. Very powerful relic there, the Reloaded one, definitely interesting, but I think this time I'm going to be going with Golden God. Basically, it'll give you unlimited money, and you can train your magic with this. You can do Elking passively, you could buy things from the shop. You can also train Prayer with this relic to use 20k cash on a altar, and you will just get prayer experience, and if you have unlimited money, unlimited prayer experience. Now the 5th tier is a really difficult choice. You got the Slayer Master one, which just makes Slayer amazing. Every single creature will be on task. You unlock everything from the shop right off the bat. You get bonus experience in Slayer. Very powerful for Slayer. Production Master is pretty self-explanatory. It will just do all of your stuff in one inventory. So this makes skilling pretty much done. Like, if you want to max really quick, you do Production Master. If you want to go for 50 mils, you do Production Master. Can be a lot of points with this relic for sure. And if you want to be like one of the first people to max, definitely go with the Production Master. Now the Treasure Arbiter one is the one I personally think I'm going to go with. It just sounds so much fun, getting so many more clue scrolls, them all being super easy, and especially with the Clue Compass one, they combined really well together. And yeah, you'll get the most loot, the least amount of steps, and just clues all of the time. And I don't know about this league, but last league there was a bunch of tasks for clue scrolls, and also collection logs, just a bunch of tasks. And I think it's fun as hell. You get some cool uniques, maybe even a pet or some gilded or something, or third age. And then we've got the 6th tier, Total Recall versus the Banker's Note. Now, I right away was like Banker's Note because I thought we'd get it quite a bit earlier, but now seeing that it's all the way in tier 6, Total Recall definitely does sound more fun. But Banker's Note is probably what I'm going to be going with because I'm also really into skilling, not just PVM, and I know Total Recall can be used for skilling methods too, but Banker's Note's cool because you can just take unlimited food wherever you go, so you realistically will never die with Banker's Note, and it's also really good for skilling. You never have to go to a bank. Yeah, so personally I'm probably going to be going with Banker's Note. Now the next one is very interesting. So there's Pocket Kingdom, which will allow you to manage the Kingdom of Miscellanea from anywhere in the game, and it's just cheaper. You get to collect the resources every single hour instead of every day. It will always be at 100%. There's just a bunch of bonuses for the kingdom, and very good way to collect resources. So might be going with this one because I couldn't decide between Overgrown or Pocket Kingdom. But they're both kind of like weigh each other out, and the way I looked at it is I can get my farming XP if I'm, say, struggling for 99 or something, which I probably won't be at Tithe Farm, right? And other than that, if I've got the Dodgy Deals one, we can go to Master Farmers, get all the seeds we need, farm a couple patches in my region, leave it be. I can get all my herbs from other sources like Slayer and the Kingdom, right? And the Kingdom also provides other things like logs. You got raw food, you got seeds. There's a lot of possibilities with the Kingdom, and money's not even an issue because Golden God, I will have unlimited money. Now for the combat relics, the last ones here, we've got Last Stand, Guardian, and Specialist. Guardian's cool if you want a thrall for 30 minutes. That's very powerful. Last Stand is just by far, I think, the best one. You won't die. You'll come back to life. You'll get your stats boosted. Very good as well if you want to learn things like the Inferno or maybe the Colosseum or even just Cerberus or any boss if you want to take it to it. Will be really fun. You can pump it like every 3 minutes and basically come invincible and get all your health back. Now, the most fun one I would say on this list would be Specialist, especially if you had something like the Dog Sword or Dragon Claws. You can just keep specking and specking and specking, gain your spec back. It could be a lot of fun, and especially if you're going to be going to raids with people, you're going to want people with the Specialist for sure. Maybe not, because they'll just get like MVP every time, but you will be doing a lot of damage with the Specialist. Now, I've actually only played the last 2 leagues. I haven't played all of them. I wish I did, but it's one of those things where you want to kind of do as many tasks as you possibly can to keep going to the next tier, unlock all of the regions as quickly as you possibly can too, and you just want to keep going for points. So personally, I wouldn't recommend rushing for any 99s right off the bat, because the more tasks you do, you will actually kind of get the multipliers, which will get you more XP here and there. So it's one of those things where it's just going to be the first couple of days is task, and you can actually use the wiki with the wiki sync plugin, and you will have the task list right there, and then it will go green once you've completed a task, which is very, very huge. And yeah, overall just really excited for the league. Don't take it too seriously though. Remember, this is just a temporary game mode. It's one of those things, right, where you do have 2 months to play it, and most people will stop playing it after 2 weeks. So you can always catch up. There's no rush or anything like that. And the main thing is to have fun. So it was one of those things too, where I wanted to be like picking, say, the Herblore relic, and I was like, oh, this would probably be the best. It would probably be the best. But I'm like, that's not really fun. Just passively getting herbs. I'm like, I want the thieving one, because that is really fun. I will enjoy my time in the league too, right? And it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, unless you really want to go for something like the Rune or the Dragon Cup. By all means, be my guest, but it should be just to have fun. Now, I've got the Rune Cup once and the Adamant Cup in the other league that I played. I didn't go super hardcore or anything. I don't even think I maxed the account in the second time I played the league. But yeah, if you do get burnt out of it, it's one of those things where don't force yourself to go for the Dragon Cup. In the last league, I had a blast for the first like 2-3 weeks, and then it started to just be like grinds for no reason, just to get points that don't really matter, to go for a cup that I will never use or wear. It's one of those things, right? So try and just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow in the Raging Echoes League. I cannot wait. It is gonna be a blast. I booked the day off of work, so we're good. If you guys watch this whole video, make sure to comment down below Swordfish. That's crazy if you watch the whole video. Really appreciate you guys. I will catch you in the next one tomorrow. See ya later.